So it's not just Pornhub, right? Pornhub is owned by a parent company that all of this kind of I learned over the last 5 years, so called MindGeek.
Okay.
Now, MindGeek has a monopoly on the global big porn industry. So we call it big porn because there's big porn, just like there's big tobacco, there's big pharma, there's big porn, and it's dominated by one company. That company was called MindGeek. They rebranded to ILO to try to escape their reputation as peddlers of crime. But so with a $362 million loan from a hedge fund called Colbeck Capital and 125 secret investors who were outed as including JP Morgan Chase and Cornell University, they had basically rolled up the entire global porn industry under one company. So
they owned it, MindGeek.
Yes. So they owned, they were managing Playboy, Digital Playground, Wicked Pictures, Browsers, Reality Kings, pay sites, subscription sites, and then the tube sites. So Pornhub and its sister sites. So Pornhub, YouPorn, RedTube, TubeBait, GayTube, XTube, I could go on and on.
Yeah.
They own the most popular tube sites. So
Vegan Tube, is that one? That's no time for jokes. And who owns MindGeek?
So MindGeek was owned by a secret majority shareholder. So nobody knew who the owner of MindGeek was when all of this began.
And were they in America?
No, we found out. So we found them, through the course of this. There was an investigation called Hunt for the Porn King.
So they're not an American company. So you start on the Hunt for the Porn King.
Right. So we discovered who was the secret majority shareholder of the company, and his name was Bernd Bergmayer, and he was in Austria, and he lived part-time in Hong Kong.
Bernd Bergmayer? Let's bring a picture of him up.
Yeah, you can.
I just want people to know
there
who
he
he
is.
is.
Yeah.
Bernd Bergmayer.
Yeah.
And let's look at his Wikipedia. I just want to get a little. He grew up as a son of farmers in Ansfelden, attended grammar school in Linz, he studied at University of Linz, wherever that is. He worked at Goldman Sachs in New York. He became the owner of porn site RedTube in 2013. He sold to the site Manwin, now known as Alyo. He was a former majority owner of Pornhub and MindGeek. Okay.
Yep.
Just want to make sure we see him.
He was the majority, and then Feroz Antoon and David DeSillo were the CEO and the COO, and they were the minority shareholders, and they had kind of hidden themselves from the public as well for a really long time.
Okay, and are these guys all from Austria? Are they all from a specific place?
So Canadian. So the company is an international corporation. They are headquartered in Canada. So they have most of their employees in Canada, but they have offices now they have an office in Texas. They had one in LA, Cyprus, Romania,
MindGeek has offices everywhere?
Everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. So they are a multinational corporation, huge corporation, hundreds of millions of dollars a year, multi-billion-dollar corporation with a monopoly on the global big porn industry.
And how much money was it bringing in a year?
Yeah, they're estimating about $500 million per year. The value of the company is multiple billions of dollars. And Pornhub was the flagship site. So this was the cash cow of the company. This is how not only are they making money on 4.6 billion ad impressions every day and all of the traffic they're getting, but they're advertising their pay sites on the free sites, right? So they kind of have this ecosystem where they advertise browsers on Pornhub and drive traffic to all of the other websites that they own.
I thought it was Brazzers, which is crazy, but also I don't care. I mean, either way, it's bad.
Yeah, content is king for the porn tube sites. You have to understand this, that it's about getting unrestricted, massive amounts of content so that they could get picked up in Google search results so that they can drive massive amounts of traffic so they can sell all those ad impressions and make hundreds of millions of dollars a year on free porn, okay? Worst thing they could do is take content down from the site. But they started to delete millions of videos. They deleted 10 million videos and over 30 million images basically in 24 hours, and what Financial Times called probably the biggest takedown of content in internet history. They deleted all of their unverified videos because they had no idea who was a child and who was 16 and who was 18.
Right.
Who was, what was rough sex and what was rape. They had no idea what was consensually recorded and non-consensually uploaded, right? And so they took down that much content.
Because they're worried about the money.
Yeah. They wanted to woo the credit card companies back.
Right.
Is they said, okay, we have to we have to do this. They basically deleted their site. Well, 80% of it at the time. They had 30 moderators moderating the millions of videos on Pornhub. Now, compare that with Facebook's 15,000 moderators, and they still don't have enough. These moderators, they were viewing between 800 and 2,000 videos per shift, clicking through those videos with the sound off, just clicking through them, guessing. Like, I call it the underage guessing game. Like, this is a game of Russian roulette with people's lives. They're trying to guess who's 15 and who's 18, who's 16 and who's 19. Like, nobody can do that on like even a pediatrician can't do that.
Yeah, and what happens to your brain at a certain point after seeing so much traumatic stuff that you were even like that should be a crime in putting a employee through that.
Well, I've spoken to those, and some of those employees I call friends today because they
really have they said that they've seen some. It's been really intense. Their conscience
was pricked.
Oh, I'm sure.
They came forward, and I've spent hours and hours in person and online and on the phone, speaking to them, trying to understand how all of this worked. And one of them is especially dear to me. And he told me that it was so hard on him to do this job, but he needed the money. And he was abused as a child. He was sexually abused as a child.
Wow.
So it was especially hard for him to do this. But I think that's
almost wonder why he went and did it. It's like you could find something else to do probably.
I mean,
not calling him out, but it's like maybe there's some weird thing that's created there too that like,
I don't know. But I appreciate what he did in coming forward. So this is the company. This is who we're kind of coming up against, right? And so all of this started to take off and go viral, and victims are coming forward, whistleblowers. I told you about the former owner who came forward. His name is Fabian Tillman, and he was called the Zuckerberg of porn. He's the one.
Let's bring him up. I just want to get I want to put a face to these guys. Fabian Tillman. He looks Danish, huh?
Thy. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Fabian Tillman.
He's the one that put Pornhub on the map. He kind of had this vision for...
The German entrepreneur who once built the biggest adult entertainment company in the world. Let's see him. That's him. Fabian. Okay, so he's one of the guys schlepping it.
So he's the one who actually revealed to me who the secret majority shareholder was that he sold the company to. Yeah, he reached out in summer 2020 to say he wanted to help. And so one of the things that he did was he exposed the secret majority shareholder's name. Mm-hmm. And he said, go after the credit card companies. As the former owner, he said, if you want to make a difference here, you go after the credit card companies to cut ties. And so that was... Now, what I didn't realize at the time, I was suspicious, right? Why is he wanting to help? And I kind of later found out that he had intention to try to buy back the company. So he kind of wanted to make a killing again. So I think he wanted to help take it down, buy it,
then find a way to do it back, probably with crypto or something on a different chain.
I don't know what he was thinking, but he wanted to buy it back, which I found out later on. But the CEO and the COO and the CEO were forced to resign as well. And today they're being sued by nearly 300 victims in 25 lawsuits, including multiple class actions on behalf of tens of thousands of child victims. Amen. And they're doing amazing in the courts. So much more evidence has been uncovered in legal discovery. So discovery is this amazing tool. Mm-hmm. When you engage in a civil lawsuit, the court gives you permission to get behind your opponent. So you can get their text messages, you can get their emails, you can get, and so much has come out of the complicity. Like you just couldn't believe. The site is still online. It's been purchased now. They're trying to do this whole rebrand. So it was sold as a distressed asset to a company that they created themselves to buy Pornhub.
Okay.
And they are called Ethical Capital Partners.
Wow, what a name. Yeah. Ethical Capital Partners. And who are the main bigwigs in that company? Do we know?
Yes, we do. They have themselves online. The guy that's out there kind of trying to do this whole rebrand of Pornhub, like we're Ethical Capital Partners. His name is Solomon Friedman, and he is a criminal defense attorney.
So is he really? A Jewish guy from where? Where's he from?
Canada.
Maybe he's Jewish. I have no idea.
From Canada. Yeah.
So he wants to rebrand and just make it more ethical?
Well, I mean, that's what they're saying, right? They're saying they called themselves Ethical Capital, yet at the same time, you know, they didn't.
So Ethical Capital Partners, there's still stuff out there that's not supposed to be there.
Yes, they still haven't actually implemented the preventative policies.
So what's
necessary.
ethical about it?
It's just a farce. I mean, it's just, you know, and that's why I think it's so important to sound the alarm on this rebrand, because from a victim's perspective, like this is also a miscarriage of justice for them to go out there and try to resuscitate Pornhub's brand to say, oh, we're ethical capital. Listen, the men who made that decision to have 30 moderators just guessing what's rough sex and rape, guessing, and they guess wrong all the time. They were skipping through 2,000, you know, thousands of videos per shift. And they're still running Pornhub today. So they're still on the 6th floor Aquamarine Montreal Tower of that corporation running Pornhub today. Yes, the CEO and the COO were forced to resign, but they have the same CFO. They have the same CLO.
Who's the CFO? Let's see.
Eddie DeSanto.
Eddie DeSanto, bring him up.
I don't know if you'll find him. They try to
hide his face?
They try to, but some of them, I mean, you can find Ryan Hogan, Matt Kalichi. So you can look up Kareem Almarazi. He is the CPO, and he's running it today.
Kareem Almarazi.
So there he is. So he's there today, right?
Yep. About him from Canada as an integral part of the mobile broadband team. Telecommunication engineering. Went to University of Montreal. So they're still running. They're just trying to rebuild this company and still make money.
Well, so I mean, what I'm saying is like ethical capital, right? If they were coming in and saying like, we're going to rebrand, we're going to do this new thing, why would you still have the same men responsible for the decisions that destroyed the lives of countless victims just running the site today? That's why it's like, it's just a farce. Like, it's not real.
Yeah.